Alone and trembling, the tiny fawn nestled deeper into the cool ferns, her spotted coat the only thing hiding her from the wide, unknown world. She was waiting for a mother who would never return. This is the story of that fawn, a little roe deer, and her incredible journey to find a new family. Our tale begins in a beautiful, sun-dappled woodland in the Scottish Highlands, a place of ancient trees and chattering streams. It is a place of great beauty, but also sometimes of great sadness. A farmer, checking his fields at the edge of the forest, noticed something unusual. For 2 whole days he had seen the same tiny fawn lying in the exact same spot, perfectly still and utterly alone. He knew that mother deer, called does, often leave their babies hidden while they go off to find food, but they always come back. His kind heart told him that this time something was wrong. Worried, he made a call to a local UK animal rescue centre. A wonderful lady named Ilara, who dedicated her life to helping British wildlife, arrived with a quiet and gentle manner. She knew that fawns are very delicate, and the most important thing was to be calm and careful. She found the little creature exactly where the farmer had said, her big, dark eyes wide with fear, but too weak to run away. Ilara spoke to her in a soft, soothing voice. "Hello, little one," she whispered. "You're safe now. We're going to help you." With gentle hands, she wrapped the fawn in a soft blanket and carried her to the safety of her vehicle, beginning the journey back to the rescue centre. She named the fawn Flora, after the beautiful flowers that dotted the meadow she came from. This was the first major event in Flora's new life, her rescue. At the centre, a special enclosure was ready. It was warm, quiet, and filled with soft hay. The first challenge was getting Flora to eat. Fawns need a special kind of milk, and Ilara had to carefully bottle feed her. At first, Flora was too scared and confused. She would turn her head away, missing her real mother. This was the emotional turning point. Ilara never gave up. She sat with Flora for hours, speaking softly, letting the fawn get used to her voice and smell. Slowly, ever so slowly, trust began to grow. Flora took her first sip from the bottle, then another. A spark of life returned to her eyes. With every meal she grew a little stronger. Her wobbly legs became steady, and she began to follow Ilara around her pen, seeing her as a strange two-legged friend. Weeks turned into months. Flora was no longer a weak, wobbly baby. She was a growing, energetic young deer. She loved to leap and play in her enclosure. But Ilara knew that a rescue centre, no matter how wonderful, was not a true home for a wild animal. Flora needed to be with other deer. She needed a herd. This was the next challenge, finding a way for Flora to learn how to be a wild deer and to find a family that would accept her. The climax of our story arrived when Ilara heard about a private wildlife park in England with a large, peaceful herd of roe deer. The keepers there were kind and experienced. They had successfully introduced orphaned deer before. After many careful discussions, it was decided. Flora would travel to her new, much bigger home. The day of the move was here. Flora was placed in a comfortable, dark crate for the journey, which helped her stay calm. When she arrived at the park, she was placed in a small acclimatization pen within the larger woodland enclosure. This allowed the other deer to come and see her, and for her to see them, without anyone feeling scared or threatened. For the first day, the herd kept their distance, curious but cautious. Flora stood by the fence watching the other deer graze and play. She felt a deep, ancient calling to be with them. Then, on the second day, the most powerful and surprising moment happened. The led doe of the herd, a graceful and wise old deer, slowly walked right up to the fence. She and Flora stood nose to nose, sniffing the air between them. It was as if they were having a silent conversation. The older doe seemed to understand that this young one was alone and needed help. Instead of turning away, she stayed nearby. When the keepers finally opened the gate to Flora's small pen, she hesitated for only a moment before stepping bravely out into the wider woodland. The herd watched. The lead doe took a few steps forward, gave a soft, gentle call, and then turned to walk away. And Flora, her heart beating with a mixture of fear and hope, took her first steps into her new life and began to follow her. Flora's story teaches us that, even in the face of sadness, there is always hope and kindness waiting to help. It shows us the compassion of people like Ilara and the farmer, who took the time to care for a vulnerable creature. But most wonderfully, it shows us the magic of the animal world itself, and how a wise old doe opened her heart to an orphan and offered her the most precious gift of all, a family. Flora had found her forever home, not in a pen, but under the open sky, running through the trees with her new herd, exactly where she was always meant to be. If this story of kindness and second chances warmed your heart, please subscribe to Nature's Gentle Voices for more heartwarming wildlife stories.